Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I am the City Witch and today we're going to be reviewing this brand new beautiful dragon oracle deck called Star Dragons by Paolo Barberi. So this is what the box looks like, and I have to say I love the aesthetic. The dragon definitely looks very, I want to say ferocious, or at least very powerful anyway. I love the way it's drawn, it's very realistic. And the artwork is stunning. The detail, I don't know if it shows up quite as well on the camera, but the detailing on the dragon and in this picture and on the scales is absolutely fantastic. So I am looking forward to seeing what the cards look like in this deck. So on the front cover, the artwork is matte, but the kind of title, Star Dragons, it's kind of embossed, so it sticks out a little bit and it's slightly shiny. This is what the side of the box looks like. So it's pretty bog standard, and here is all the information in regards to the languages. So obviously there are 5 languages for this deck. There is also a website and some Facebook information as well. I will pop that information in the description of the video if you wish to go ahead and check that out. This is what the back of the box looks like. So we get a brief look at a couple of the cards that are going to be inside this deck. It's a 33 card oracle deck. And the introduction, it says, "A star in the sky and a dragon in your heart. The artwork of Paolo Barberi connects humanity to infinity." That's nice and simple, isn't it? I like that. So let's open up the box and have a look. So the box is plain on the inside. I know a lot of companies these days have been putting patterns and designs or little kind of things like statements of intent and stuff like that. Just nice little words of encouragement. This one's chosen to go with plain, which is fine. Let's move the box out the way. And then we have our guidebook. So here you can see all the languages, English being the first one in my copy. And then we have an introduction. And then we have the deck structure. So the Star Dragons Fantasy Oracle deck contains a total of 33 cards. The main deck, there are 28 full colour cards in the main deck, each depicting a humanoid figure referred to as the Herald and a dragon. Furthermore, each dragon is connected to an astronomical constellation, and each herald is connected to a specific star in that constellation. Typically the most famous or brightest star. See the note on the stars and constellations below for more information. The generals, in addition, there are 5 monochrome cards with a unique design and backing. These 5 cards are referred to as the generals. The generals cards also contain both a herald and a dragon. Likewise, both the heralds and the dragons in each of these cards are connected to an astronomical constellation for the dragon and a specific star in that constellation for the herald. Okay. You may draw a card from the main deck using a variety of methods. Invoke the spirit of the dragons and accompanying constellation depicted on the card along with the herald and associated star for a meditative experience. Okay, nice. Let's see what else we have. So the general's deck. In addition to drawing from the main deck, you may choose a card from the general's deck to supplement your reading. These 5 cards depict 5 concepts or areas for exploration and meditation. So you have knowing, resources, inspiration, time, and space. And they all have a little bit of information. So for knowledge, it says, this references ability, skill, and information. Resources is a reference to all material means and resources. Inspiration is ideas and creativity are invoked by this card. Time represents patience, pacing, and so forth. And space, this card invokes travel and movement. Okay. That's quite good though, because if you ask a question and say you need to know if things are shifting in your favour and you've got the time or the space card, depending on the card obviously that you draw from the main deck, you would get your answer. So you would get timing, you would get whether things are blocked or not, and you would understand how things are moving forward. So I like that the reading and the deck is layered a little bit. And then for meaning of cards, it says, once you pull 1 or more card from the main deck and the general's deck optional, you may refer to the card meanings section below for descriptions of each card. These descriptions include the following: the constellation, the star, wisdom of the herald, and the wisdom of the dragon, and then star dragon invocation. So you can use these cards to invoke the dragons as well. That's really cool. I like that, especially from a magical perspective. I don't know if they have any spreads, but let's check this out. So we have an example of a 3-card spread. There's information about a single or a 2-card reading as well. And that is it. And then it goes into the card meanings. So I'm going to pop that to one side because I do want to take a look at the cards. So this is what the back of the cards looks like. It's pretty plain and dull, actually. I kind of would have expected a little bit more colour, but I do like that it is reversible, and obviously you cannot tell which way around it's going to be. The card is shiny, which you can see in the video, and it is decent quality, actually. It's a nice kind of thickness, but more slightly on the thinner side than the thicker side. It does bend quite nicely, but I do feel if I bent it too much, they would bend out of shape. So just be careful with that, guys. So let's take a look at our cards. So our first card is Vision. Contemplating the future. Okay, so here we have our dragon, our herald, and then here I can see the constellation. That's cool. I wonder if when you're reading about the card and the star, there's a particular star that stands out, because that one stands out to me, but I don't know if that's the star that relates to the herald, because the dragon relates to the constellation. So that's interesting. Love the colours. The colours are beautiful in the card, and the dragon is extremely detailed. It's lovely. Number 2, dominance, believing in yourself. Ooh. And that's obviously the image we have on the front of the box and on the guidebook as well. So obviously we have our dragon, our herald, and our constellation. Card 3, transformation, defining yourself. Nice. So there's our constellation there. So this one's more of like a dragon / unicorn. It's kind of a mixed breed a little bit. And I kind of like that as well, because a lot of people think of dragons as just lizard type creatures, but actually there are many varieties of dragons, some that have fur and feathers, some that have scales, and then there's ones with fins. There's ones that have these kind of, they're not quite feathers or scales, they're like something in between. And then some dragons are more ethereal or energy based. So think light energy. So I do like that this is a bit of a mix. And also it does have these fins as well. So it does make me think that this creature could quite happily be at home in the ocean, or at least in some kind of water. Number 4, wisdom, asking questions. It's quite a big constellation, isn't it? I wonder if that's Draco. I'm not very good with my constellations. I'm going to have to look some of these up. But I do like the way the cards have been drawn so far. And this one obviously has a lot of antlers or some kind of branches coming out of his head as well. So this makes me think it's connected to the earth in some way. Ooh, pretty. Number 5, miracle, making a difference. That is so pretty. Wow. And the herald in this one is riding the dragon. And this dragon gives me a very Eastern vibe. Very beautiful. Has 4 claws, so I think that means it's Chinese, because if I remember rightly, 5-clawed dragons of this type are Japanese, and I think 4-claw is Chinese. Very beautiful. That's probably my favourite so far. Number 6, bliss, cherishing the day. This is definitely having fun. There is a mermaid in this one as well. They're clearly having a great time in the ocean. This feels very playful, this card. Like they're having such a good time together, and they have a good bond, a good friendship, a relationship. Very nice. Number 7, effort. Conquering your demons. I mean, you can conjure them as well if you want, but this one says conquering your demons. So this is definitely a card ready for battle, isn't it? And again, we're seeing our herald on top of the dragon. The dragon is even collared. There is, you know, a saddle and everything. And it's like holding a weapon of some kind as well. It's a very defensive card, isn't it? Our next one is Legacy, card number 8, and it says persistence. Yeah, so persevere, carry on, don't give up. It's interesting because this card is quite greyed out. It feels a little bit on the gloomy side. And then we have these ruins as well. So it looks like you're almost surrounded by ruins and you're the last person standing. And this is kind of telling you, keep going, persevere, don't give up. Number 9, choice, understanding consequences. Yes, because every choice you make, every action you take has an opposite and equal reaction. And sometimes with our choices, there are consequences. So I do like that this is in here and it's making sure that you are taking responsibility. Also, this is cool because this is more like some kind of Hydra creature because we've got all these different heads. It's very cool. Number 10, transcendence, achieving success. Yes, fire, creativity, like the explosion of energy. That is a really pretty card. I like that one. I love the spiral here as well. I'm kind of looking for the constellation. Ah, there it is. I was looking for the constellation. I couldn't quite see it. It's right there within the cracks and the flames. Here we have another dragonoid creature. This is number 11, invitation, burning with passion. Okay, so like you're invited maybe to start a creative project, to do something fantastical, creative, something new. I do get kind of a darkish vibe from this one as well. Like, yes, you could create something, but what you create, is it going to be for good or evil? Number 12, the self, gathering your power. Yes, power, recall, energy. I love the way she's connecting with the power of the dragon as well, and it's sharing its essence with her. That's lovely. Very nice. Number 13, challenge, standing up for your rights. So yeah, so the dragon's clearly on top of the hill, showing that this is the hill I'm going to die on. This is my position, my power. This is mine. This definitely feels like standing your ground. Like I'm not going to be moved. I am unmovable. Number 14, understanding, looking at both sides. Ooh. So this is about perspective as well, isn't it? Because it's not just understanding your perspective and the other person's perspective, but making sure that you are seeing things from all angles, from every possible angle that there is in that situation, and you're not just seeing it from your own point of view. And this also might be about accepting other people's points of view or their experiences, their knowledge, their expertise. Nice. Oh, this is pretty as well. Number 15, tranquility, harmonious inaction. So you don't have to do anything, just let things be and just enjoy the moment of stillness. And this definitely gives me that meditation vibe. And the dragon is gorgeous. This is definitely one of my favorite cards. I love the like pale blues within that dragon, the blacks. It's just absolutely stunning. Number 16, destruction, releasing your anger. It's funny because society teaches us to lock up our anger and not let it out and to be in control, but sometimes you need to release it, but in healthy ways. So this for me is about exploring your anger, your hatred, your darkness, and rather than bottle it up so it comes out when you least expect it, like it creeps up on you and you have no control, why not look at it in a controlled setting and do some healing and release it in a healthy way so it doesn't overload you? You know, you're not going to be like a fizzy bottle and blow up basically. So for me, this is very much about controlled destruction. But remember, through destruction, new birth and creation can arise, and you cannot create something new without first releasing or letting go of the past or destroying the old in order to make room for the new. So for me, this is a positive card. 17, grief, accepting loss. Wow, that is definitely a dragon of death, isn't it? Look at all the skeletons on it. That is so cool, all the detailing. It's also a very solemn card, isn't it? It definitely has that sad energy to it. But it also has the energy of I will carry on. There is a little bit of strength in there for me. Beautiful. Number 18, healing, restoring hope. Oh, I love that the herald in this one is a fairy type creature. It's so beautiful with its lovely little wings. I love that there's different creatures in this, not just humans and knights and warriors, but there are clearly, you know, some magical beings in here with the dragons working alongside them. So you have a chance to connect to other beings. Number 19, independence, carving your own path. Wow, that's a beautiful card as well. Stunning. Nice. Kind of reminds me of a Digimon, the way it's been drawn. And then we have number 20, returning, going with the flow. So interesting that it's called the returning, going with the flow, because going with the flow for me is not fighting the current or the direction things are going in, just go with it. But the returning implies to me going in circles or a cycle or coming back to where you began. So they're kind of two different energies. So I suppose you could read this card two different ways if you wanted. Still a beautiful card though. I'm loving the oranges in that one. And again, we have like a fairy-like creature connected to the forest, and the dragon is connected to the forest as well. Lovely. 21, resilience, finding your limits. So this is all about limitations, maybe surpassing them, or maybe you have limited yourself and set boundaries or put walls up that are so high that you can't see the other side. So this for me could be about breaking your limitations or figuring out where your limitations are, not overexerting yourself, and kind of making sure you don't experience burnout as well. So this is a very important card. I also like that it's a bit more frozen as well. Like it's a colder energy card. And the dragon, again, is beautiful. Number 22, rebirth, giving yourself a second chance. So this is like your fresh start, new beginning kind of card. Not being so harsh on yourself and allowing yourself to grow and learn from the experience, be wiser, and next time more prepared for what might come up. So this is a card of growth for me, I think, not just rebirth, but growth, actual spiritual, physical, mental, emotional growth. 23, enlightenment, moving forward. So this is like a light in the dark, guidance. This is pretty. And I love the lantern there, that really caught my eye. And again, we have a fairy-like creature. She's not fully human. She's definitely some kind of fae, like an elf. Lovely. Okay, number 24, freedom, breaking the chains. So this might be burdens. This could be having too many responsibilities upon your time and energy, other people relying on you too much, and not doing things for themselves. And this could be about unshackling yourself. Or maybe if you're under someone's control, this could be about freeing yourself from that control, or breaking bad habits and addictions as well. So it's quite a flexible card, this one, I think, depending on the question you're asking. Aw, how cute. We have a little baby dragon in this one. So this one is 25, trust, love and friendship. I love the way this dragon's tail's curled around her head and touching her third eye. That's really pretty. I like that a lot. Number 26, protection, finding what's important. That's beautiful as well. Look at the greens in that dragon. And I definitely feel like she is protected in that one. She's definitely safe and secure, surrounded by the dragon. The dragon's watching, keeping an eye out for danger, and making sure that this friend is safe. And definitely this being here, she's exposed, isn't she? She's not wearing any armor, you know, she's fully exposed to the world, and therefore maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable. She definitely looks like she's vulnerable. Number 27, culmination, completion and renewal. So this is kind of like all your efforts and what they have bore. So have they bore fruit, or have they rotted or failed? So this is kind of like the end result of what effort you've put in. So you won't get any results if you don't put the hard work and labour in effectively. So this is what's led you to this position. So this could be a bit of a slap of reality for some people, depending on the question and the reading. And this could be a hard pill to swallow. I do like that the branches for this dragon is branches of trees. It's quite cool. And also because it's face on staring at you. It's like that hard stare, isn't it? It's interesting, that one. Oh, beautiful. Number 28, surrender, letting go of the darkness. That is beautiful. I love the colours in this one. I love the dragon is kind of nesting in her hair. That's really, really pretty. Loving the colours, the vibe, the kind of tribally patterns in the face and the skin. That's absolutely stunning. And I love that we have the sun and we have the moon in this as well. That's probably my favourite card. That is a truly beautiful card. Love the way it's drawn. Letting go of the darkness, so embracing the light. And I like the way we have the sun and the moon as well, because obviously we live in the daylight, but the moon can illuminate our secrets, the darkness that we hold within, and it can help us focus on the things that we really need to work on, even if we're ashamed of them, you know, the things we're hiding from the public. So I like that there's a bit of everything in there. It's lovely. Okay, so here we get to our kind of separate deck. So that was the end of the main deck. So these are the ones that can help kind of add more energy to your reading. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm just going to show you this. So I didn't notice this before, but on the main deck, so obviously this is from the main deck, this is green, this one is red. So you can separate them out easily. And it's the way to take the to tell the difference between the two, which is quite nice. So our first one, we have knowledge. That's interesting. This dragon has kind of like a bottle or a container on its head, representing its brain. Very interesting. And then we have resources. I see what the book means now about them being kind of dark cards, you know, because they're drawn with greys, blacks, and a little bit of white and silver in there. It's interesting, that one, resources, because it looks like a knight and a warrior. And, you know, knights and warriors do have to be quite resourceful. And obviously they have to use what they have to hand. And they have to obviously study their environment in order to win in a battle or a victory. So that is quite interesting symbolism for that card, I think. Then we have inspiration, and we have this beautiful fae-like woman kind of holding her hands out, and the dragon is almost being summoned or manifested by her energy. That's nice. It's working with a little bit of magic for me, that one. Personal energy and empowerment. And it's definitely a really nice symbolism for creation and bringing something into being, creating something new. And then we have the time card. It's funny because the ocean and the waves look like they're moving, like crashing against the rocks where this dragon and the herald are, but they're not quite moving, but it looks like they're about to. So it looks like this is almost like I can jump into action or I can stay here. Interesting. And then we have the space card, and this definitely looks like it's in space. We have some planets here in the background. We have this alien-like creature here. That is really cool. I kind of like these cards because they are a little bit different. So that concludes the deck. So I think for me, I really enjoyed the artwork. It has a very adult vibe and feel to it. I love the detailing on the dragons, and I like how some cards are more colourful than others. I didn't mind the keywords and the tiny little kind of hint as to what the card might mean. I definitely got a lot out of each card as I was going through, and I was able to decide for myself what I think the card is going to mean to me and how I would work with its energy. I'm looking forward to learning about the constellations with each card as well. I think that's going to take a little bit of practice, so you can probably ignore the star constellation aspect if you wanted and use this as a regular oracle, but I think for extra energies and intent, it would be quite fun and enjoyable to learn about the constellations and see how they add to each of these cards. In regards to the cards at the back, I really like them as an added extra. It's nice when a creator thinks of something different for an oracle deck so you can use it in different ways, and we're seeing that more and more these days. So I have quite a few oracle decks in my collection, and some of them, you know, one of them that I think off the top of my head was a sigil oracle, and in that came with tracing paper, so you can trace the sigils for yourself. The sigils had meanings as well as like the card. Then there was animal symbolism, so it was layered with quite a lot of different ways to work with its energy, and they were beautifully drawn and gave H.R. Geiger vibes. Then I have a fairy oracle deck, and that comes with bath mixes you can make, meditations, visualizations. There's all sorts of things to do in the guidebook for that. So it's nice that these decks are being used for something other than just readings, and that you can connect with the energies of the dragons and the creatures within the cards in different ways. So I really liked this deck. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. The card quality is good, the imagery is good, the creation of the deck and the way it's been laid out I think is really good as well. Just to kind of tell you how the cards are laid out. So here we have number one, which was vision, contemplating the future. So the constellation is Lupus, which is the wolf, and the star is, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Kekawan, which is Alpha Lupi. So the wisdom of the herald, the wisdom of the dragon, and then the star dragon invocation. So you have that split into three, so you can read and work with the card in different ways, which is quite lovely. I'd like to go to the back, I think, and look at the... So here we have the space card. So again, we have the constellation, which is Sagittarius, the archer, and then the star is Casus Australis, Epicelion Sagittari. Okay, and then again we have the wisdom of the herald, the wisdom of the dragon, and then the star dragon invocation. So again, all the cards, we have a lot of information for them, different ways to connect, different ways to use them, which I like. So I would easily score this deck probably a good solid 8 out of 10. I do think it's a nice addition to your collection, especially if you are a dragon lover. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, guys, and supporting my channel. If you enjoyed this review, please give me a thumbs up, click the bell, and YouTube will tell you when my next video comes out. If you'd like to offer like, love, and support to my channel, you can do that through the 2 links provided, which is a link to my Amazon wishlist or to my PayPal, where if you choose, you can send me a small tip or buy me a coffee. So thank you very much for all your support, guys. If you would like to book my magical services or my services in divination for tarot readings, oracle readings, Lenormand readings, bone readings, and charm castings, and also pendulum, you can do that by any of the links provided in the description of the video, and those include Facebook, Instagram, X, and email. So feel free to reach out. If you have any comments or thoughts about this deck, please leave a comment. I will answer back as soon as I can, and I do check for comments daily, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Blessed be.